Hi guys, it's Amy and you have found Amy Loves Crochet. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. I really do appreciate your time. Today's video is under the title of Fail to Fabulous because I'm going to show you something that I made and previously wrote meh, big and ugly in my book, in my journal book. And I sat it on my shelf with the rest of that skein of yarn for a little bit and thought, what am I going to do with the rest of that? So I decided to take another look at it. But yeah, so when I first made it, it calls for, it's a fantastic stitch. I absolutely love the stitch. Moogly puts on the video, and it is, as you saw, it's from Unforgettable Yarns. I was looking for something to make specifically that somebody had made with Unforgettable Yarns because I never know how it's going to turn out. This yarn is a medium worsted weight 4. It's 100% acrylic, and suggested hook is a 6mm. So when Moogly, she does the video, the tutorial for this, it's called Lavender Kisses. She does this section with a 9mm, and it was just honking huge, ginormous. And I really didn't think that that was the way it was supposed to turn out. I mean, I generally have kind of a looser tension, I think, but this was, I thought this was way wrong. And then the band here is done with a 6mm. So after I talked smack about it on my video, I decided to go ahead and rework it. And I picked up, instead, let me go back to here. What I did with this one is I went down a hook size to a 7. If you saw another video recently where in the mittens and bulky mittens with the Karen cakes, I was using a new hook that I bought, size 7mm. And so I went ahead and did the top hat of with the 7mm, and then did the 6mm brim again, because that seems to fit your head just right. But it's this part that's in question, right? So when I did that one, I liked the way it fit. But so it was like Mama Bear, Papa Bear, Baby Bear. So here was Papa Bear, where it's gigantic, and I jumped down to Baby Bear, but then I sprang back into the center and did a Mama Bear size. So I don't know what order I want to show you the hats in because they look different. Okay, so I'll show you that. So so this is the colorway Meadow, I think. Oh, Prairie, close. Prairie is in the other language. It is Meadow in English. I'm cracking myself up over here. So this is a skein of 100 grams, so it's 270 yards. And so I still had enough, you know, I weighed this hat and figured if I was going to go down a hook size, then I just needed about the same amount or a little bit less and I'd be okay. So I did. And so here's, jumped right down to baby hat. And so it is snug. Here's the back side. You can see it's still a little bit bulky, slouchy, but I did add some rows in there. So if you wanted it, I followed the pattern just until it was coming to where she starts to do the brim, and I just added some extra rows of the pattern so that it would be a little bit more slouchy. I mean, I knew it was going to be closer on my head because I went down the hook size, so I wanted to account for that and still leave it slouchy. So I liked this one. You know, if you wanted to bring it all the way down, you still could. There's still some slouch in there. There's still some bag in there. I love it. I absolutely love it. And, you know, I'll be the first to admit when I'm wrong. When I worked up this one, I just thought it was so wonkadoo. But after time and wearing it and working up the pattern in other hats, or other hook sizes, I really, really am eating my words. I came to really love this pattern. It is a beautiful pattern. I'll show you the Mama Bear hat in a minute. But so you start with a magic ring here, and you do 12, you know, chain 3, and then 11 more double crochets. So you've got 12 double crochets, and then you do 2 in each for the next round. So that's 24. And then in every other from there, let me hold it still. So here's 12 in a magic ring, 12 double crochets in a magic ring. And then you do 2 double crochets in every, so you're increasing, so that's 24. And then in this next row, you do 3 double crochets in one spot, and then skip a space all the way around. And then you start these crossovers. These are treble crochet crossovers. So you'll chain up 4, and then you'll skip you'll skip that same space and the next one, and then do the first part of your X. So you'll do a treble crochet into that space, and then you come back and go into the one that you missed, or skipped, I should say. So here is where your 3 double crochets are, and then your X is going to go in the first and the third. You're going to skip that. Where am I? Here's your X. So you go into the first, you know, you skip over and you go in, and then you skip over and you go into the opposing one. It's a great tutorial, so I'm going to go ahead and obviously link that down below for you to follow. But for those of you that might be able to pick it up just from this, thought I'd go ahead and share what the stitches are. So that's all you do, is you go through and you do the clusters. In an increased row, you're going to do 5 clusters. So you do kind of have to count where your spaces are going for your crossovers, your X's. But then you go back to 3 double crochets, so it's easy to see you're in the first and the last on your X's. And then, like I said, I just did an extra row of the 3 double crochets and then the X on top of that. And then you do front post and back post ribbing for the brim. And I think on this one, can I see on this one? I'll show you on this one. Nope, on this one I did single crochets as well. So here's a row that I added of the single crochets on top of it. So this one, whoops, this one is with an 8mm hook here, and then a 6mm hook. And I kind of like this one. I did an extra row here as well, so it's a little bit longer than it would have been if I were following the pattern. So that's what I really liked about this one, is that I could change it how I wanted to, and it was easy to see what changes it was going to make to the hat. And so, yeah, I think that this one, and so this colorway is called Title, and this is also a Fail to Fabulous. I brought this in. It's also the Unforgettable yarn. It's the same yarn. But I had previously shown you this hat, and this is the Stormy Waters hat. And now this hat, what's done with this hat is you do a cluster of 3 double crochets, and then you do, on the next row around, you do a front post double crochet, a single crochet, and then a front post double crochet. So you get these lifted sides. I'll link this video down below as well, the tutorial for this one, because I made a few hats with it and a few scarves with it. So it's got a few different patterns. And she has a Slouchy pattern for this that I did not make. This is the Stormy Waters Infinity Scarf, and it was by, I think it was called Yarn Wars. I don't think I have that right here. Oh yeah, right here, Yarn Wars. So this too was made up with a 6mm hook. That's what you use this with, this yarn. So I didn't, when you put this on, so this is the Fabulous. Ow, caught my hair clip. This is, I think that, oh, here's my hair clip coming out. I think that this pattern is beautiful, but when you put it on, I don't know, I thought you kind of lose the pattern a little bit when you're wearing it. It's hard. I got to see through my glasses, but I got to look down to see the pattern. So maybe it's not so much a fail from here, but I really, it sat on my shelf. The rest of that skein, after I made this, it sat on my shelf and I didn't know what to do with it. So coming up with this, I really loved it. I really enjoyed it. Blue isn't for everybody. But again, this one, this colorway, Red Heart makes a colorway in their Super Saver called Icelandic. And it's a blanket that I made up for my dad. So whenever I see these colors together, it reminds me of that blanket, and it always touches my heart just a little bit. So there you go. I am going to link this video down below. I think it was a great tutorial. She does really well with showing you and explaining to you what to do next. Any skeins of Unforgettable yarn that you've got, like one skein kicking around, you don't know what to do with it. I made 2 of these hats out of it. So I enjoy, you guys know that, I enjoy changing up the hook size, seeing what else you can come up with, what kind of changes you will it, how does it look different if you add a row, or in this case add 2 rows or whatever. So have fun with it, play with it. I encourage you to do that. I just thought that you know, this Unforgettable yarn was just such a beautiful, beautiful yarn for this pattern. I wonder what else you could, you know, like the landscapes is close to this. I know that Michael's has a new yarn. I don't know the name of it. I'll try to post a picture of it here if I can remember to, but I haven't messed around with that yarn or experienced it yet. I just saw it on the shelf and wondered how close it was. So yeah, so there you go. I was really kind of unhappy with the way the first one turned out, but since I went back and reworked it with some different hook sizes, I just love, love, love it. So there's a fail to fabulous video for you guys. So I hope you guys agree that it went to fabulous. Alrighty guys, I hope you enjoyed this video today. I hope you'll come back and see me again. Have a wonderfully blessed day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.